Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great-Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into our time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
Comedy as we go to check in with the Water Commissioner of Summerfield. You know who that is. That's Harold Peary, the Great-Gildersleeve, as his old flame Violet comes to Summerfield. This episode originally broadcast March 25th, 1945.
Kraft presents The Great-Gildersleeve. The Kraft Cheese Company, makers of Parquet margarine and a complete line of famous quality food products, presents Harold Peary as the Great Gildersleeve. Kraft brings you the Great Gildersleeve every week at this time, written by John Wheaton and Sam Moore, with music by Claude Sweeten. Now let's join our old friend Gildersleeve. Spring, as it must to all places, has come at last to Summerfield, and Gildersleeve is feeling its magic influence. But as he basks in the wreath of his after-breakfast cigar, he finds that he's not the only spring-struck member of his family. Here's the faithful Bertie, for instance.
Excuse me, Mr. Gildersleeve, you busy?
Oh, no, Bertie, just enjoying the beautiful day. On a day like this, a man just likes to sit still and do nothing.
Well, sir, it's all in how you look at it. Now, me, I thought it was such a nice day, I'd like to get started on my spring cleaning.
Oh, great idea. House could stand a little going over.
Yes, sir. I thought maybe I could do some work on these floors in here.
You're right. They really need it.
Yes, sir. And I was wondering, could you take the rugs out and beat them for a while?
Bertie, I wonder if this whole thing is really necessary.
Spring cleaning?
Yes.
Of course it's necessary, Mr. Gildersleeve. We do it every year.
We do it every year. In other words, it's customary. But customary and necessary are two different things, Bertie. I've often thought to myself, Bertie keeps this house in such good shape all through the year. Why does she bother with spring cleaning? We don't need it, Bertie. Forget the whole thing.
Yes, sir. You think I could get Leroy to beat the rugs?
Now, why didn't I think of that? Just the thing. Have Leroy beat the rugs, then you can polish up these floors and clean the whole house. It's filthy.
What a man.
I'll get Leroy at it right away, Bertie. Leroy! Leroy!
What?
Come down here.
What?
Don't make me shout, young man. Come down here.
Okay.
What's he doing up there anyway?
I don't know, Mr. Gildersleeve. He says he's practicing his magic.
Oh, that again?
That's all he talks about.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The masked wizard thanks you for your kind reception.
Listen, wizard.
For my first trick this evening, I shall endeavor to present the mystery of the missing egg.
Not
this
now.
This trick was presented to me many years ago by a celebrated Indian Swaney.
Leroy.
Oh, and can't you let me practice my patter? I got it down pretty good now, but I can't keep saying it to myself.
I don't want to hear any patter.
You have to have it.
Why?
Keeps the tricks from being so boring.
Well, that's a step in the right direction. But I didn't get you downstairs to listen to your patter, my boy, or to watch your tricks either. I've got a job for you right now.
A job? Saturday's my day off.
Well, it's really nothing at all, my boy. Just a little household chore you should be glad to do.
Cleaning out the cellar?
Oh, you can do that next Saturday. This is much easier. I do it myself, except I'm busy. Just take these rugs out and beat them till they're clean. That's all.
If I do it, will you watch me do a magic show tonight?
Can't watch it tonight. I'm taking Mrs. Ransom to the country club dance.
How about a show this afternoon, then?
Well, if you finish the rugs.
Okay. Boy, what a terrible way to sell tickets. Hey, here's Marge. Why shouldn't she help me?
Help you what? Here's the mail, Uncle Mort.
Mail? Oh, all bills, I suppose.
Anything for me?
We'll be writing to you. Something here from the National Geographic. Bill from Dr. Pettibone.
Hey, what's this?
Let go.
It's purple.
Who's it from?
Throckmorton P. Gildersleeve S.
Leroy?
My gosh, it's got perfume on it. Smell, Marge.
Leroy, give me that.
Okay, gosh.
Don't know who it could be. Leroy, stop trying to read over my shoulder.
I wasn't reading it, Unc. I was just...
Go away. Go do something. Go lay an egg.
I need an audience.
Miss Gildersleeve, excuse me.
Yes, Bertie?
Could I trouble you for that rug you're standing on?
Oh, yes, of course.
Grab hold of that end there, Leroy.
Wait a minute. Don't pull it with me standing on it. Come on, Marjorie. Let's go in the den. Now, maybe I can read my mail in peace. Can't imagine who this letter could... Well, I'll be darned.
What is it?
After all these years.
Uncle Mort, what is it?
Violet.
Who's Violet?
An old friend of your uncle's.
I've never even heard you mention anyone named Violet.
I never have. The memory was too painful.
Oh.
Yes, my dear, this is a chapter of your uncle's life he thought was closed.
Is she someone you were very fond of?
Marjorie, she was the most beautiful girl I've ever known.
Really? What was she like?
Well, she was just beautiful, that's all. She had hair that was all, I don't know, it was just beautiful. And when she smiled, it was beautiful.
She must have been beautiful.
She was. I remember her eyes. They were the bluest eyes you've ever seen. Only they weren't exactly blue. They were more purple. Only they weren't really purple. They were...
Violet.
That's it. They were violet. Now, why didn't I ever think of that? Violet with the violet eyes. I used to bring her violets all the time because that was her name. Violet. Or Vi, as I used to call her. I was only 19 at the time.
Uncle Mort, were you really in love with her?
I would have married her in a minute.
Then why didn't you? Why didn't you ask her?
I did.
Oh.
Yes, my dear, that's life. Mine stopped when I was 19.
Oh, now, Unky.
It's true. When a man loves deeply, he loves only once. Now you know. That's why your old uncle has never married. That's why women have never held any interest for him. I know what you're going to say now.
I wasn't going to say it.
Leela and I are just good friends, that's all. We may have gotten in a little over our depth there one time, but...
What about Eve Goodwin?
Eve? Well, we're good friends, too. It's never been the way it was with Violet. Nothing was ever like that. Oh, dear.
Tell me, Unky, what happened? Why didn't she marry you?
Well, there was a fellow named Harry.
Yes?
That's all. There was a fellow named Harry. Last name was Kane, a hurdler. He was on the track team at college. We used to call him Hurry Kane. He was fast on his feet, but that's all you could say for him. He went into insurance later.
She married him?
She married him. Don't ask me why. It's the last I ever saw of her. I saw him once. Tried to sell me an insurance policy.
Did you buy it? Good for you.
Well, it's all water over the dam now. No use crying over spilt milk.
Poor Unky.
Gad, she was lovely. But as I say, that chapter of my life is closed forever. Or is it? Let's see what she has to say here. Been talking so much, haven't even read it. Dear Tubby. She always used to call me Tubby. I was a little plump in those days. Say, she's coming through Summerfield tomorrow. You hear that, Marjorie? She's coming to Summerfield.
Really?
This was written yesterday. That means she's arriving today. Oh, gosh, I'm so excited.
What else does she say?
Yeah, let me see. I'll be passing through Summerfield tomorrow. You heard about poor Harry, I suppose, and I couldn't... Wait a minute, what happened to Harry?
She doesn't say, does she?
Poor old Harry. His policies must have matured. I only hope he was covered.
Uncle Mort, when's she arriving?
Well, she gets in at 5:15. Says she'll be wearing a blue hat in case I don't recognize her. Fat chance.
Oh, Uncle Mort, I think it's so romantic. And it's your age, too.
Huh?
To think that you'll be meeting her this very afternoon. I should think you'd be so excited.
Oh, I am. My heart is actually pounding.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Gildersleeve. I didn't know you were still in here.
That's all right, Bertie. Marjorie, do your old uncle a favor, will you? You run along, too, huh? I'd kind of like to be alone for a few minutes.
Alone with your memories. I know. Okay.
Alone with my memories. Well, I'll just stretch out on the couch here. Silly to get all excited like this. I think I was a kid. George, I feel like a kid. Yep. Remember when I used to go and call on her? I'd wait for her to come downstairs. Same feeling. Couldn't get my breath. I'd sit there trying to talk to her mother, with one eye on the stairs, and the words wouldn't come out. And finally she'd come down, as beautiful as the dawn. Oh, Violet, I loved you so. If only I could have told you what was in my heart. Vi, dear. Dear, darling Vi. What'll it be like to see you again? To hear your dear voice? I remember it so well. It was like music when you spoke my name. Tubby, you called me. And I liked it. Tubby.
Tubby.
Yes, Vi, it's Tubby.
Oh, Tubby, I've come to you at last. It's been so long. So long.
I know, dear.
Oh, can you ever forgive me for what I've done to you? Can you ever forget?
I can't forget, Vi, but I can forgive.
Oh, Tubby, you were always so good to me. Why did I ever marry Harry?
You can say that again. Speaking of Harry.
Tubby, you've heard?
About Harry? Yes, I've heard.
Poor Harry. Perhaps it was all for the best.
Well, I can go along with that.
Tubby, you are glad to see me, aren't you? Oh, tell me you're glad to see me.
Glad to see you. I mean, gosh, yes.
Well, then.
Well?
Well, aren't you going to take me in your arms?
Am I?
Oh, Tubby, darling. Tubby, Tubby, Tubby.
Leela!
Well, don't you look silly lying there hugging yourself.
I was cold.
Bertie said I'd find you in here. Come along.
Hey, let go.
Come along, Throckmorton.
Let go of my ear.
You know where we're going right this minute. We're going down to the florist to buy Leela a corsage.
Huh?
Aren't I terrible? But I wouldn't dream of going to a spring dance without wearing flowers, and I knew you never in the world would think of sending me any, so
But Leela...
we'll just pick them out, and then I'll pretend I never saw them before. How's that? I thought maybe a little old-fashioned bouquet of wildflowers. I'm wearing my white organdy, and it's quite girlish. What do you think?
Leela, about tonight.
Yes?
Well, the truth is, I forgot about the dance at the country club.
Forgot about it?
Yeah, you see, well, you mustn't misunderstand. I'd like to take you, but this is sort of a previous engagement. I mean, I sort of got involved. I'm sorry.
I don't know what you've got involved in, Throckmorton, but let me remind you that you invited me to this dance a good 3 weeks ago.
This is something I got involved in a good 30 years ago.
Well, who is she?
Name's Violet.
Violet? Violet? Oh, really, Throckmorton, where do you find them?
What's so funny about Violet?
I can see how it might not seem so funny to anyone named Throckmorton. Well, I'll be going now.
Leela, you're not mad, are you?
Gracious, why should I be mad? There are plenty of attractive men.
Oh, that's good. I was afraid you might not understand.
I understand perfectly, Throckmorton.
Leela, by George, I'll say one thing for you. You're a good sport.
Mr. Gildersleeve, that's one thing I won't take from any man.
Great sense of humor, that girl. I wonder if she meant it. Leela! Leela, wait a minute. Leela, if you're going by the florist, tell him to save me some violets. Gee, I guess she meant it.
March 25th, 1945, Harold Peary, The Great Gildersleeve on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. So tell me the truth. Do you prefer Harold Peary or do you prefer Willard Waterman? tell us on our webpage, classicradio.stream. Harold Peary, The Great Gildersleeve, March 25th, 1945 on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
Now let's get back to the great Gildersleeve. He somewhat nervously consumed his lunch, and after a long mental debate as to whether he should dress first and go to the florist's afterwards, or go to the florist's first and then dress, here he is in his bedroom picking out a necktie.
Let's see. This one is expensive, but I never liked it. She always liked a figured tie. A nice polka dot would be where the devil is it? Confound it, I only bought the darn thing last week. Bertie, Marjorie, where's my polka dot tie?
Did you say something, Unc?
I'm looking for my blue polka dot tie, Leroy. Have you seen it?
Oh, yeah, just a second, I'll get it.
Well, if that kid is starting to wear my neckties...
Ladies and gentlemen, I have here an ordinary box. That is, it looks like an ordinary box. However...
Leroy, I don't want tricks. I want my necktie.
Just a second. The box is empty, is it not? Nothing in the box, nothing in my hands, nothing up my sleeve.
Leroy?
Now the masked wizard reaches into the box, and presto!
Give me that necktie.
Here. See, I did it pretty good, didn't I, Unc?
Did what?
Produced the necktie. Didn't it mystify you?
Hey, what's happened to this necktie? Have you been wearing it?
Oh, no, I never wear your ties. You told me not to.
How'd you happen to have it?
I was just using it for a silk. Magicians have to have them.
Oh, they do.
Yeah, you have to have silk because it's the only stuff that rolls up into a ball.
Leroy, you've practically ruined a necktie that cost $1.35. Does it strike you that magic is rather an expensive hobby?
It sure is. This box costs $6.
$6? Young man, I won't have you throwing away good money on this junk.
I didn't. I traded it.
What's more, if I catch you using any of my neckties again, you'll regret it mightily.
Okay. Do you want to see my show now?
No, Leroy.
But you promised. You said after I finished the rugs.
My boy, the episode with the necktie didn't exactly put me in the mood for a magic show. However, I would keep my word, except I have to go downtown on very urgent business.
Oh. Oh, gosh, what about tonight?
I told you I was engaged for this evening, Leroy.
Yeah, but I thought Mrs. Ransom gave you the brush.
Leroy, do you want me to give you the brush?
Oh, no.
Then forget the magic.
Well, hello, Mr. Gildersleeve. What can I do for you this afternoon?
Not a thing, Peavy. I saw there was nobody in here, so I came in to wait for the 5:15 bus.
Judge Hooker's in the phone booth there. Have a stool. Make yourself comfortable.
Well, All right.
Care to put your violets in a glass of water?
Huh? No, thanks. I'll just hold them. Bus ought to be here any minute.
Yes, you do right now. Expecting a visitor, Mr. Gildersleeve?
Yeah.
Well, Gildy, trying to listen in on my telephone conversation?
I haven't the slightest interest in your telephone conversations, Judge.
I was talking to an old lady friend of yours.
What?
Eve Goodwin. I'm taking her to the country club dance tonight.
Oh, well, have a good time.
We will. Who are the violets for, Leela?
No, Judge, they're not for Leela. I'm meeting a lady on the 5:15 bus, and they're for her.
Oh. Anybody I know, Gildy?
Nope.
That's all right, Mr. Gildersleeve. A man wants to keep something to himself. That's his privilege. Is the lady a relative?
No. As a matter of fact, she's a very lovely lady I knew some years ago. She has violet eyes, and she's dying to see me. You can laugh all you want to, Judge. You've never had a woman like this in your life. It's a sure thing Peavy never did.
Well, I wouldn't say that.
Peavy, you're happily married.
Oh, yes, but even a married man has his memories.
Why, Peavy, I never would have thought it of you.
Well, she didn't have violet eyes, but she had something.
Was this before you met Mrs. Peavy?
Oh, certainly. I met this lady about a year before I met Mrs. Peavy. She was the daughter of old Mr. Bensinger. He was the head of the firm where I was working, Bensinger and Holtz, wholesale drug concern. Fine company, Bensinger and Holtz. Their slogan was purity and quality.
Never mind the advertising, Peavy. What about the girl?
We used to call the partners Purity Bensinger and Quality Holtz. Behind their backs, of course.
The girl, Peavy.
Oh, yes. Well, as I say, she was Mr. Bensinger's daughter, the apple of the old man's eye.
His only daughter, I presume.
No, he had 12. But she was the only one he could stand. You see, he kept expecting a boy, and each girl made him madder. But he decided to train this girl in the business, and it was my job to teach her.
Oh? Teach her what?
Well, the laboratory end of it. She and I used to be alone every afternoon in that laboratory.
Yeah. Now we're getting somewhere. Was she good looking?
A dish for the gods.
Hi, George. This is good.
And the conclusion of The Great Gildersleeve, March 25th, 1945, when Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox continues following these messages from your favorite radio station. Just when you thought it couldn't get any better, Mike Lindell and MyPillow launching the MyPillow 2.0. Now, when Mike invented MyPillow, it had everything you could want in a pillow. Now, nearly 20 years later, he's discovered a new technology that makes MyPillow even better. Of course, the patented adjustable fill of the original MyPillow, but now with brand new fabric with a temperature-regulating thread, it's the softest, smoothest, and coolest pillow you'll ever own. Say goodbye to tossing and turning and flipping your pillow over in the middle of the night. And more great news on the MyPillow 2.0 buy one, get one free offer with my promo code Wyatt. MyPillow 2.0 is 100% made in the USA, 10-year warranty, 60-day money-back guarantee. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio podcast square to receive the MyPillow 2.0 buy one, get one free offer. Use my promo code Wyatt or call 1-800-928-4715. Thanks for tuning in to Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Now the conclusion of The Great Gildersleeve, March 25th, 1945.
Wait a minute, Peavy. I think I hear the bus. No, just a dump truck. Go ahead, Peavy. What happened in the laboratory?
Well, I made progress.
You did?
Yes, sir. Inside of 1 month, I had her making aspirin tablets.
Aspirin tablets?
Making them just as well as I could make them myself. There must be something in heredity. I don't care what they say.
What about the girl, Peavy?
Well, in another month, I had her doing mortal and pestle work. And a month after that, she was on solutions and titrations. Honestly, gentlemen, she had my head in a whirl.
Yes. Wait a minute. Do you mean to tell me you spent all this time alone with this beautiful girl in a laboratory and didn't you ever kiss her?
Mr. Gildersleeve, she was my employer's daughter.
Well, that settles it, Peavy. You're made of wood, that's all.
Oh, no, I wouldn't say that.
Yeah.
Her father was watching us all the time through a peephole.
That's certainly a lovely memory, Peavy.
Yes, it is, Mr. Gildersleeve. I can still see her in my mind's eye, stirring up a batch of magnesia.
Hey, is that your bus coming in, Gildy?
Bus? Where? I didn't hear anything.
Yes, sir. Here she comes, right down the street.
You're right. Where's my hat? Oh, on my head. Violets. Oh, here. Well, I'm off.
You going to introduce the lady to your friends, Gildy?
You stay inside the store, Judge, if you know what's good for you.
Come on in front, Peavy. Let's watch this.
Good luck, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Thanks, Peavy. Let's see. I guess they'll let him out of that bus at the front door. Oh. Sorry, madam, I was looking at the bus. Women like that ought to stay in the house. Well, here they come. It isn't her. It isn't her. Soldier. It isn't him. Blue hat. Here she comes. Here she comes.
Oh, hey, where do you think you're going?
Pardon me, sir. This is an emergency.
Hey, Gildy, who's your fat friend?
Peavy, I gotta hide someplace. You got a back door?
Right through the prescription room, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Oh, much obliged.
Watch out for the garbage pail in the alley.
Uncle Mort, is that you? Uncle Mort?
Yes, it's me.
Well, where is she?
Help me off with my galoshes, will you, my dear? I'm a little tired tonight.
Of course.
Here, I'll sit on the stairs.
Unky, what happened? Wasn't she on the bus?
Yeah, she was on it.
Well, tell me about it. You were going to bring her home to dinner.
Marjorie, let me give you a piece of advice. Never try to dig up the past.
Why? What do you mean?
Live for the present, my dear. In the future, never look back.
I don't understand.
Well, you're young. I don't know that I can explain, but I'll tell you this. I never knew until tonight how old I am.
Unc, you mustn't talk like that.
It wasn't just seeing her like that. It made me realize how I must look to her. Old and fat.
You're not old.
There. The other foot. Yeah, I'm through, and I know it. Lucky to have a good little niece like you to help me off with my galoshes in my old age.
Uncle Mort, you make me sick when you talk like that. Now stop drooling.
Huh?
You run into some old girlfriend who's got into the pastries and let herself go and you get all sad. I bet she wasn't so much when she was 16 either.
Why, Marjorie. No, now that I think of it, you may be right. She always was a little on the hefty side. I don't know where she got off to call me Tubby.
All you ever saw probably was her violet eyes.
Well, I'm a sucker for violet eyes.
Now there's Mrs. Ransom. She's every bit as old, but she's taking care of herself.
Yes, by George, I'll say that for Leela. She's well preserved.
Well, don't ever let her hear you say it.
Yeah, and she's got spirit, too. I like that. She's not the type who would settle down and marry a hurdle jumper. You know, maybe I ought to invite her over to dinner. Bertie's got all that food out there.
Why don't you?
I'll do it. I was planning to take her to the country club dance anyway. I'll run right over there right now.
Wait, don't you want your galoshes?
Oh, hang the galoshes.
But you might get wet.
A little water never hurt a young fellow like me, my dear. I'll be down to get you in a taxi, honey. Better be ready about 8:30. Now, honey, don't...
Well?
I'm back.
Were you gone?
Great sense of humor. Leela, I find I'm going to be able to take you to the dance after all. Isn't that great?
I'm afraid you found that out a little late.
Well, better late than never, I always say. I want you to come over to dinner, too.
It just happens, Mr. Gildersleeve, that I have been invited to go to the dance by another gentleman, including dinner, and not home-cooked either, at a restaurant where we shall probably have lobster Newburg.
You'll probably get fat. Guess you didn't hear me. Doggone it, why are women so mean to me? Little Leroy, little Houdini. Why should I go to a country club when I can get entertainment like this in my own home?
Oh, you're kidding.
No, I mean it. Say, Leroy,
Yeah?
there's one trick I'd really like to see.
What's that?
Do you know how to saw a woman in half?
No, but I guess I could find out.
You find out, my boy. You find out, and I'll watch you do it every night of the week. Yeah.
March 25th, 1945, The Great Gildersleeve on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, let's head back to Pine Ridge, Arkansas, see what's going on with Lum and Abner and their circus. March 25th, 1935.
Here we are, all ready to take you down to Pine Ridge for another visit with Lum and Abner. Brought to you by the makers of Horlicks, the original malted milk. And now, let's see what's happening down in Pine Ridge. When we left Lum and Abner last week, the old fellows were getting their circus ready for the grand opening, which was to have been held Saturday. Well, Squire Skimp, who has been employed as manager because of his previous circus experience, predicted a record-breaking crowd for their opening. As we look in on Pine Ridge today, we find Lum down at the Jot 'em Down store talking to Grandpappy Spears. Listen.
Well, when you run out of stuff that way, Grandpap, you want to call the Gulf Wholesale Grocery House in there at the county seat and tell them to send it out to you. Well, the only trouble, they don't sell on a credit, Lum. Well, I don't want you to buy stuff on a credit. I want to stay on a cash base, of course. That way I can always tell where I'm at. That is, I can tell where I'm at financial. Well, how you expect me to pay cash for stuff when you keep taking all the money out of the cash drawer there as fast as we get it in? You come over here Friday and cleaned it out, and Saturday you done the same thing. Well, I had to take that money them days, Grandpap, to buy some stuff for the circus. Had to pay for that steam calliope Squire Skimp bought first, and some handbills and one thing and another. Well, of course, it ain't none of my business, Lum. This is your store. I'm just running it for you, but I can tell you right now, you can't expect this store to keep itself up in the circus, too. Yeah, I know it. I don't know what to do. Looks like I've got myself into it now, and I can't get out. Cedric was telling me you never done very well Saturday over there on your opening. No, we lost money. Tell you the truth, Grandpap, I don't believe Squire Skimp's as good a circus man as he lets on to be. Well, I thought the show was all right. Me and Charity went down there Saturday night. We enjoyed it something wonderful. Wait a minute, here comes Abner. We're going to have a sort of a meeting over here this morning. I called Squire Skimp a while ago and told him to come over, too. Abner backed out on going in the cage with them lions over there, didn't he? Oh, yeah. You can't hardly get him to walk by the cage anymore now. All he's doing now is just taking up tickets at the door there. Yeah, howdy, Abner.
Yeah, good morning, man. Good morning.
Come in, Abner, come in.
Yeah, Squire Skimp hollered at me when I passed his place just now, Lum, and said that he'd be over here directly.
Yeah, I called him a while ago. We're going to have a circus meeting over here.
Circus meeting?
Well, a meeting of the owners and the manager of the circus.
Oh, I thought you meant we was going to have the animals over here, too.
No, just me and you and Squire's got to sit down and figure some things out. Granny, there's something wrong here.
Something wrong?
Yeah, that grand opening we had Saturday come might not be in a grand closing.
Yeah.
You fellas wants to talk business. I'll go back here and straighten up the feed room while you up here to watch the front lawn. Yeah, all right, Grandpap.
Lum, you ain't blaming me 'cause we never done no business Saturday, are you?
Oh, no.
Well, I know I taken up every ticket that they brung in there.
Yeah, by the way, that's another thing I want to ask you about. You never had no extra tickets in your pocket, did you?
Extra tickets?
Yeah.
No, I reckon not. The only ones I had was them I taken up at the gate when folks walked in.
Well, you made a mistake there, Summers. You turned in too many tickets to me.
I did, huh?
Oh, yeah. Yesterday, I never had nothing to do, so I was sort of checking up on the money I'd taken in at the box office and checking out again them tickets you'd taken up at the door. And you turned in 44 adult tickets and 26 children's. That way, I ought to had $28 and a half, according to my account.
Yeah?
And I ain't got but $22 and a half.
Well, I do know.
Reckon you could have dropped some tickets there in the sawdust when you was taking them up, or... No, wait a minute, no. You never found no tickets in the sawdust, did you?
Why, no, I never even knowed there was any there.
Well, I don't know whether there's any there or not. You're long on your tickets, though, I know that. You turned in too many of them to me.
Well, I'll be dad blamed. Just looks like I can't do nothing right no more. I get so disgusted with myself sometimes, I just can't hardly stand me.
Did anybody hand you 2 tickets when they walked in the door there?
2 tickets?
Yeah, I figured maybe that's how come you'd be long.
Let me see. Yes, sir, they sure did. Old Uncle Henry Lunsford. Well, I'll be dad blame. I never would have thought it of him.
Uncle Henry Lunsford?
Yeah, I dog it there, the fellow we're looking for, right there, Lum. And him a deacon in a church, too. He's a wolf in snake's clothing, a sheep in the grass. That's what...
Abner, Uncle Henry was supposed to have 2 tickets. I sold him 2.
Oh, you charged him double price, huh?
No, there was 2 of him.
2 of him?
Well, I mean, it was him and his wife.
Oh, yeah, Aunt Kit was with him, yeah.
That's what I say. He had to have two tickets. One of them was for him and one of them was for her.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I thought if that old skinflint put anything over on me, I'd swim that river to go over and give him a licking.
Well, I don't believe it was Uncle Henry. Now that we've got to talking about it, the mistake might have been in the box office.
You mean that you might have made a mistake?
No, of course not.
Oh.
I just happen to think, though, I've heard all my life that circuses is awful bad about shortchanging folks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd forgot about that. That's just about what happened. Some feller come up there to buy some tickets and hand me a big bill, and then when he went to hand me the change back... No, wait a minute. Now, granted, that couldn't be it. No, it must have been in your tickets, Abner.
Well, I'm just as sorry as I can be, Lum. I'll watch it from here out and try not to take up no more than you sell out there. Yeah.
Well, that just accounts for $6, so we lost $40 Saturday.
Lost $40?
Yes, sir. I figured it up yesterday. $40 is what we lost on the day.
We lost? Now, wait a minute now, Lum. You was the one that had all the cash money. You can't lay that off on me now.
I ain't blaming you with it. Squire's the one to blame, if anybody.
Why, did you let him carry the money?
Why, no. Didn't nobody carry it. We didn't have it.
Well, how in the world are we going to lose $40 if we never had it?
Abner, when I say we lost $40, I don't mean anybody in particular lost it. I mean that me and you, as owners of the circus, lost $40 Saturday. $20 apiece.
Well, I don't know what you done, of course, Lum, but I know dad blamed good and well that I never lost nothing.
Well, you did, whether you know it or not.
Well, all right, I don't want to argue about it, but I never had but $9 in my pocket Saturday, and I don't see how I could have did it.
Well, I don't mean that you lost the cash, Abner. I mean we lost $40 on paper.
On paper?
Well, we went in the whole $40. Our expenses run $62 and a half a day, and we never taken in but $22 and a half. So we lost $40.
Oh, yeah, I believe I'm catching on now, Lum.
Hey, come back here a minute. I want to ask you about something.
Yeah, Grandpap's calling him back there, Lum.
Yeah, all right, Grandpap. What is it you want?
$40. Well, I never even knowed we had that much. Well, howdy, Cedric.
Morning, Mr. Abner. Whereabouts is Mr. Lum at?
Why, he just stepped back there in the feed room. What is you wanting to see him about?
I wanted to see if he'd let me have a quarter. I want to have my picture took.
Your picture took?
Yes, Mom. There's a feller joined up with the circus down there that takes your picture for a quarter.
For the land's sake.
Me and Clarabelle Seastrump's going to have our picture took together.
Yeah. Well, I don't believe I'd speak to Lum about it now, Cedric. He ain't in a very good humor with himself. We lost $40 Saturday in the circus.
Well, I never knowed that.
Well, I never neither, but according to Lum's tale of it, we did. He figured them things out some way with figures. I lost $20 myself, he claimed.
Well, I'll look around over there. Maybe I can find it for you. Might have got down in that sawdust.
No, I don't know just how it is, Cedric. Lum explained it to me, but we lost it, and then again we didn't lose it somewhere or other. I don't know.
Well, maybe he lost it and then found it again.
No, he said we never had it to lose.
Well, if you never had it, I don't see how you could have lost it, hardly.
Yeah, well, that's just what I said, too, Cedric. I believe Lum's just mixed up on his figure there somewhere.
I don't see how a fella can lose.
Wait a minute. There comes Squire Skimp, Cedric. I don't say nothing to him about it. He'll be trying to find it himself. Lum says it is his fault for us losing it, too. Hey, Lum, here comes Squire.
Howdy, Mr. Squire.
Well, hello, Cedric. Good morning, Abner.
Morning, Squire.
Well, howdy, Squire.
Oh, hello, Lum. You say you want to have a meeting this morning?
Yeah, we've got to figure something out here, Squire. We're losing money on this circus.
Yes, well, now that ain't hard to explain, Lum. We never done no business Saturday, but I know the reason for that. You see, that circus was in town here for a week before you fellers took it over. And then we let folks in there for feed, for the animals a couple of days, where everybody in Pine Ridge here done seen the circus.
Yeah, that's right.
Now, what we've got to do, men, is to move to another location. Start out on the road with it. I'd like to open up at the county seat by the middle of the week, and I believe we can do a big business in there.
Yeah, someplace where they ain't saw it yet.
Yeah, it ought to do good in there at the county seat.
Now, the only thing, men, before we can move a circus off of that lot over there, we've got to have something to move it with. And that's going to take money.
Money?
Yes, we can't move a foot till we get some money. And it's just a dead expense while it's there. Them animals, is eating right along, and all the performers there has to be paid.
More money.
Who got us into this circus business in the first place?
Huh?
Well, you've heard of having a white elephant on your hand. Well, Lum and Abner have a whole circus. This is Carlton Brickert, speaking for Lum and Abner and Horlicks, who now bid you all good night and good health.
March 25th, 1935, almost 90 years ago, Lum and Abner here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Hey, we thank you so much, and we want to thank Ted over at radiomemories.com. If you go and look at his webpage, you see all the collections he's got, and you also ask him, drop him an email about all of the new restorations he has just done. He's just done a whole bunch of restorations of a variety of shows, one of which is Lum and Abner that you hear here on your favorite station on Classic Radio Theater. So check it out. That is radiomemories.com. Ted supplies shows on cassette, also on CD, also on flash drive for your computer. You can find all of that at radiomemories.com. Radiomemories.com. Thank you so much for making us a part of your day. Would you thank this station, support their advertisers? It's their kindness and courtesy that allow us to be with you each and every time you roll around here on your favorite station. Miss a day, you don't have to miss a single one of our 21 hours of classic radio theater we put together every week, and you can find all of them at classicradio.stream. Classicradio.stream. Stream our shows on demand. Learn about building a classic radio collection of your own. You can contact us, find your social media links. You can also buy me a copy that helps us acquire additional classic radio collections and also helps us maintain our distribution channels. And if you listen to us on something other than classicradio.stream, please like us and do whatever it is to give us thumbs up or whatever. We're on YouTube and a variety of other places as well. Classicradio.stream, and tell all your friends the great radio shows are out there right here at this spot on the radio dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox here on your favorite radio station.